How's everybody feeling tonight? Are you enjoying the vibes?
Yes.
Want to shout out to the Experience Kitchen for the great food.
Yes.
Yeah, can we clap it up for them? So appreciate you guys coming out tonight. My name is Kenya Gibson, aka Coach Kenya. I work with iHeartMedia and have a very special guest in the building tonight with us.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Kenya?
I'm amazing. I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you.
Flow is Real Talk.
Yeah, we're in the building.
Rider 2, number 8 on the hip hop charts right now.
Yes.
How was that feeling?
Great. I'm very excited for the new release to get that music out there for the fans. And be able to, try top 10 when it came out. About 3 weeks ago it came out, so it's been a great ride for the last 3 weeks.
And it's been quite a journey for you.
Yes.
Starting out independent, ending up independent.
Yes.
Want to talk a little bit about that because that's not easy to do.
No. Staying independent and being independent and climbing to what I've done and what I've been in my career has been very hard, but very fruitful as well.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the tracks on the album.
Yeah.
All right. So I enjoyed the whole thing, by the way. I listened to it like 5 or 6 times.
Thank you.
We are going to play some tracks tonight.
Okay.
I would say one of my favorites was Forever Flawless.
Okay.
I felt like
The intro.
was dope.
We set up the tone.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, our DJ left. Or are we going to play some music? Oh, come on.
He's a nerd.
He's like, oh, I gotta say, let me get a drink.
I'm ready for your cue. It's all good. But I love
What
that.
did you like most about the intro?
Well, I felt like it gave me a good opportunity to hear you spit, right? Gave me a little sense of your style,
Okay.
right? And I feel like you've been doing this for a while, and I definitely have heard the transition. And we talked a little bit about this outside, about how you've been incorporating God into more of your music, which is not always easy to do, especially in a secular space. So let's talk a little bit about that and what that's been like for you.
I think for me, just being able to have the freedom of being independent has allowed me to speak my voice when it comes to God more freely than somebody that would be like on a major or under a label. And I think the messages in music have changed. Not so much, I think it's always been like sexualized and it's always been that, but I think it's been more prone to violence and more like, insinuating that kind of stuff. So for me, having my platform and understanding that the messages in music really do impact a person. Growing up, listening to DMX and listening to storytellers and real hip hop is what shaped and molded me to be, the artist that I am today. So I just wanted to be careful with my message and the type of frequencies that I was putting out into the world, especially seeing what other artists were doing. So it's important for me to speak my piece, speak my belief in God, and just kind of be able to deliver those messages in my music that I feel like somebody could gain from or somebody could take from my music. Like, what is my message going to be? What am I delivering? What am I saying in my music? And that's what really shaped the Gratitude album. It's just really what messages am I really portraying.
Yeah, that's very brave and accountable because most people, are afraid to talk about God when it comes to anything.
Yeah.
And I think the other side of that is hip hop there's very good variations of it, right? So I think the fact that you've been able to take your faith and blend it with your music and create a platform where people are getting inspired but they're also being entertained is kind of hard to do.
Yeah. And when people talk about God in their music, a lot of times it's like labeled as Christian rap. Mm-hmm. And I think for me to be able to because I'm not a Christian rapper, but I'm a rapper that believes in God, right? So I can speak my belief in my music without necessarily having to only be directly tied to a religion or to a group of people. My relationship with God is my relationship with God, and I'm going to spread it in my music, but it's not categorized as Christian rap. Which, as you can see in the album, there's a lot of mentions of God, there's songs about God, but it's not entirely like a Christian album, you know what I mean? So for me, being able to kind of be free in that space to where like I don't want to be labeled as such, but if I feel the need to kind of put that message and put God into my music for that particular moment, then that's what I'm going to do, you know what I mean?
1,000%.
So yeah.
So can we listen to a little bit?
You want to go for the performance?
Yeah, I'm already in.
Okay, so this is the intro to the album, which is more lyrical, right? So gratitude. It's the longevity, Mr. Doing incredibly, never lost his identity. Yo, I'm building a legacy. God has really been blessing me. Everyone got a check for me.
Just bringing it down to the inspiration for the album. You were sitting down and you were writing, right? I guess for you, how do you create balance between your personal life, being a father, being a husband, like, and incorporating that into your music?
I don't think I incorporated so much music. It's just about something that I feel like a lot of people have said that can't be done. Like you can't really have a family and you can't really have a career at the same time. And for me, it's been important to kind of be able to balance that, which comes with the independent lifestyle. You know, when it comes to being independent and being able to balance having a family and controlling my schedule. And a lot of people don't talk about that freedom and what that freedom is really worth. You know, when you're negotiating with a label or, you know, and you're talking about those things, what is that freedom really valued on? So to have that freedom to control my schedule, to be independent, still have my family, still be a present father, it's always been important for me because it's the one thing that people say that you couldn't necessarily do. So it's been a pleasure for me to kind of be able to balance that.
So I guess part of my question is like, what do you decide goes on to the album? What do you leave out, right? Like you're just sitting here deciding like what you want to talk about. Like where is that inspiration coming from?
I think it's really about the stage that you're in your life. You know, like right now I'm in my gratitude era. I'm very grateful and have a lot of gratitude for everything that I've done. And that I've accomplished. So for me, this album was really about being present in the moment. So I have songs like Supposed to Be, where like it kind of sends a message of like, no matter where you are in life, you're actually where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? You're on your path, you're on your journey. On Your Side speaks about always having love and positivity on your side and always getting an outcome. When you put the energy out into the world, that's when you get back, right? So revelation, praise God, show my God, show my gratitude for Jesus Christ and being blessed as I am. You know, so those records really kind of fit the whole gratitude, you know, mode of what I was going for in this present stage of life that I'm in. So I think it's really about where you are mentally, right? So like right now, my gratitude era is happening. I might be in my takeover era in 3 months where I'm like, yo, I'm headed. You know what I mean? And I'm about to show that. So there might not be as much God content on that because it depends, like, you know what I mean, on where I am in life mentally. So right now I'm in my gratitude era, just enjoying life, being present in the moment, being grateful to God, and appreciating the moment.
So I want to quote something that you said on World on Fire. You said, I can tell the most dangerous drug now is attention. So let's talk about that. Like, what did you mean by that? I mean, I know what you mean, but...
On social media, you know, everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody's staging content, staging situations just to get views. And I think that attention has become more of a powerful drug than actual drugs, right? People that aren't even on drugs are hooked on social media and hooked on trying to get content, and everybody's a content creator. So it's really created a pandemic, so to speak, of people that live online, right? Like, where are our future doctors? Where are our future, you know, scientists? And everybody wants to be a content creator, so like, what does our future really look like, you know? And with TikTok and the development of social media, I think attention has become a very dangerous drug. So I wanted to address that.
And I feel like we're all, like living under this false pretense of life, where everything is just optics and aesthetics and filters and no shades of filters. I use filters too, but you know what I mean?
You don't need them.
But I think, to your point, it's it's an interesting place to live because I think we're kind of going through a little bit of an identity crisis spiritually, personally.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think social media is very damaging to the mind when it comes to self-esteem. Because like you said, with the filters, you see yourself on your phone a certain way every day.
Yeah.
And you get accustomed to that. So when you look in the mirror in the morning, you know, you're like, oh my God, I look so terrible, I look this. Because you're used to seeing what you see on the filters, right? So it can have a damaging effect to the self-esteem and to the morale of a person. So, you know, you just gotta be really careful with that, how you use social media. For me, obviously, it is an advertising tool. It is a way to reach people.
Yeah.
If I wasn't an artist, I don't know if I would even have it. You know, obviously, I don't know. I can't say that because, you know, everybody has one. But for me, it's just about being careful with that space. You know?
And I guess, like, how do you, as an artist, create balance in that space? Like, do you look at the comments? How engaged are you with what's happening online?
I mean, for me, I don't put the energy out there, right? So like, my energy is real positive, so I get a lot of positivity. Like, I don't really deal with a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
Or like negative comments.
Which is rare, because there's a lot of trolls.
Yeah, I think it's the energy you put out too, you know? So like for me, everything's positive, uplifting, very message driven. Like if I put something up that has a message attached to it, it's very hard to like air, and if you do, it's really like somebody that just has a low frequency, right? So like, we even encounter somebody that has no low frequency, but we're flying this high, you know what I mean? And early in my career, I would find it necessary to kind of address those things. But it's like, yo, I was addressing the negative comments before I was even acknowledging the positive ones. So now it's like taking time to really acknowledge the positivity and ignore that negativity, you know what I mean? Let it be, like just let it flow.
Yeah, totally. So you want to play another song? I'll let you pick this
Absolutely.
song.
From the album?
Yeah.
Let's play On Your Side.
You ready, Cuddy?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, Cuddy's ready.
I'm ready, but you need anybody to keep it down.
Oh, yeah,
Just a little bit. Just they gotta keep it down while y'all talking, you know what I'm saying? We recording it.
Yeah.
Respectfully, everybody just keep it down.
No, On Your Side.
On your side.
On your side. He's ready with Revelation.
No.
Nah, On Your
Well, we
Side.
went to play Revelation
Listen.
before you go. Don't be on that.
When you got love on your side, man, everything's possible. Let's go.
I just wanna spread my wings and fly. Do it till the day I touch the sky. There's nothing in this world you can't survive.
So that was the theme on the hook for this, but you're on track number 2. Yeah. So, nice.
So that's love on your side. But God is love, you know what I mean? So like it's also a way of saying, you know, keeping God on your side, love on your side, however you want to interpret it.
Yeah.
God is love. It's a beautiful record about perseverance.
And I think we're all inspired now. We've gone through I would say some pretty difficult times over the past few years. So you mentioned a little bit in that song about fighting depression.
Yes.
Which I think, if we're all honest with ourselves, have had a bout of depression at one time or another. I mean, I've certainly dealt with it many times in my life. So I love when people are transparent about dealing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the COVID was a tough time, you know, for everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, having everything shut down at a time where like my career was at like the highest point was really tough.
Yeah.
To overcome. Like I just, you know, it was just, at that point I was just really drained and I needed a break. So I took a little break and just kind of like sat still for a moment in the space that I was in to kind of like reevaluate, right? To like reconfigure my brain and like just my body. And I don't know if it was like a depression or not, but it was a moment of stillness and a moment of like discovery of like who I really was and what I really wanted to do and the message that I really wanted to put out there into the world at a time where it was most important. And you know, battling that and overcoming that and coming up with the Gratitude album was like my moment of like, you know, discovery, you know what I mean, growth, mentally, physically, emotionally, really being tested in those times with everything shutting down after like the Netflix show and everything. So it was like, you know, a moment of perseverance for me to kind of get back up,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And we talked a little about the Netflix show because you said that really magnified your career.
Magnified for
That was
sure.
I felt that was a great depiction of what you were going through. So how so, in terms of
just on a worldwide level, you know what I mean? We was independently touring already, independently like doing our thing, you know what I mean? We had a core fan base, but the Netflix show obviously put us on like an international level, you know what I mean? Where we're known all around the world. It's a different level, right? Like no matter where we go now, people know who we are, you know? So it's like a different responsibility too that comes with it, because we want to represent ourselves to the best of our ability when it comes to the world, right? So doing international shows, like we have a lot of international shows coming up, and a tour coming up after this album, and I think it really magnified us to just a worldwide level, you know, just being able to be known all around the world.
Yeah. Did I read this correctly? You were discovered by Ludacris initially? I read that. I felt like I read that.
No.
Okay. Then I
No.
read that incorrectly.
I started touring and opened, you know, for those
Okay.
guys. Like I've been on tour with a lot of different artists.
Yeah.
Just trying to get my name out there, you know, having a lot of experience, opening for a lot of different artists throughout the years. I think you've probably read that.
What was your biggest break, you think?
Definitely Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, definitely the show. It's like for me, people don't understand what the importance is of consistency, right? So like, even if you're getting discovered in spurts, or you're getting discovered by certain people at a time every single day, after a while it becomes a massive crowd, right? It becomes like a huge thing. So you continue to grow, we continue to grow over the years, continue to tour, continue to just keep pushing the agenda, and the Netflix show kind of put us over the top as far as just being known,
Yeah.
you know, with who we are.
So do you feel with saying that, like discovery's kind of like this mythical thing? Like, do you feel like people really get discovered, or it's just like you say, it's a matter of just being consistent over a period of time where you're kind of
Always.
building?
I think it's just a matter of situation where, like, if you're being consistent and you're working towards your goal, you be ready for the moment, and then you get discovered. But the discovery is so many years of preparation before
And not like
that.
this moment where
Yeah.
it's overnight.
I mean, the true stars. You know,
Yeah.
there's some people that are in and out that
one-hit
might get
wonders.
Yeah, the one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
But the people that really last is from years of experience, and then whatever moment or point they get discovered, that's because they were ready for that moment. You know what I mean? They worked hard for that moment.
Yeah, I'm glad that you say that, because I think there's a lot of creatives, and maybe there's a lot of creatives here tonight that you feel discouraged, right?
Yeah.
Because you feel like you've not walked into that moment yet. But just hearing this is encouraging, because it's not the one thing, it's the many things that lead up to that.
Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
I was doing shows in my hometown every Tuesday night, right? For like 300 people for years. And then when I moved to Atlanta to pursue like my career even more, we ended up winning a contest to open up in Phillips Arena for 20,000 people. And had I not been doing all those shows on a Tuesday night, those meaningless shows, right, I wouldn't have been ready for the moment. So for me, those reps were always important. I think it's important to like take advantage and always get those reps in and always get that experience in, because it's the only thing that prepares you for those moments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not despising the day of small beginnings.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
It's
yes.
important, super important. So I love that we're having this conversation, especially about being independent, because I
sure.
think there's a lot of independent artists that are out there that are on this journey. It's a struggle,
Yeah.
right? Because financially it's tough, like
Yep.
morale is tough, right? Like having that tenacity to keep going is tough. So what advice would you give to independent artists and creatives that are out there who kind of feel a little stuck or they're not making as much momentum?
Just have a plan. Momentum is key with growth. So you gotta have a plan, like a plan of action, or else you're just kind of like, what is it that you want to accomplish? How do you get there? What can you do today to get there? Because a lot of people look at the big picture like, oh, I want to be a star. I want to be, a multi-platinum artist. Okay, that's fine. But what's the next step?
Right.
And what can you do right now? Because you can't do everything in one day to get there. So you got to figure out how can you affect it right now? Okay, you need an album. Okay, let's do a track today.
Yeah.
Let's get there today.
Be strategic.
It has to have purpose. Every move has to have a purpose. So for me, it's just have a plan, figure out how you execute that plan, and figure out how you can affect that plan today. Because all we could do is affect right now, right? That's the only thing we have control over is the moment. So what can you do in the moment to help that?
Yeah.
Never mind everything else. What can you do right now?
That's good advice.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about fatherhood and being a husband, because those
Yeah.
are very important jobs and roles and not easy. So how do you balance all of that and being an artist? Because I feel like being an artist is a lot.
No sleep.
Ever. Yeah.
No sleep. Just being present, with your family and also your career, and also having boundaries, knowing being independent, I can control certain things, like I said, scheduling and trips and touring. I can schedule that around important days, and being there for those important days are the most important, right? When it comes to family. So just controlling that schedule, being in control of the moment, which is important when you're being grateful in the gratitude era, and understanding, just that presence is everything. Because for kids, currency is time. I can make all the money in the world, but if I'm not there,
Right.
what does that really do? So for me, my kids value my time as currency. That's how they look at they value my love. So they measure my love, so to speak, right? So it's just about being present in both spaces and understanding the time to do certain things, not to book a tour in the middle of my son's birthday or graduation.
Right.
Making sure I'm present in those moments allows them to see that it's important to me as well as them.
Yeah. And then being a husband, that's a big job.
Yes.
That's a hard job.
Communication. That's the best thing.
Over communication.
I never was good at that. You know what I mean? And communication, understanding how tough it might be for your partner to have you traveling and doing so many different things. So being able to communicate with that person, understand, what's important to you, which is my family, getting to the bag, getting back to my family. I think it's been very successful for me, communicating the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's hard for guys to communicate. It's easier for women. Sorry, did I say that out loud? I'm being honest. In relationships, you don't think that women can have a tendency to be a bit of the better communicators in terms of?
It depends on who you're dealing with. If you're dealing with somebody who hasn't mentally grown, yeah.
Well, I feel men are very logical and women are very emotional. So,
Depends on who you're dealing with. I'm both. I'm logical and emotional. So,
yeah.
I
guess I'm more logical than I am emotional. So I guess it depends on the person.
See, we might switch roles.
Yeah.
I might be the emotional one.
Yeah. Most of the time it's women. It is. But I'm glad to hear you're a great communicator.
No, not really.
Oh,
I'm
so
trying.
that's honest. Okay.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I
feel like it's a learned behavior.
It definitely is a trained behavior, not a learned, trained. Because you can learn it.
Yeah. But
Not
implementing.
be good at it. You can learn how to
how to rap, it doesn't mean you
Doesn't mean you should, right? It doesn't mean you should.
Yeah,
That's
so, you know,
funny.
it's a trained behavior for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about commitment, man. How important is it for you to make your partner comfortable, right? Like, it's just really a value of importance. Like, it's important for me to make my partner comfortable.
Do you know what the definition of love is?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so love,
God.
okay, God for sure.
God is love.
But love, at least my perceived definition, is doing what's in the best interest of the other person.
Terrible.
That's
Terrible.
That's not terrible.
It's
that's
terrible.
That's selfless.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
there's,
what-
then in being selfless, there's no self-love. Because you're doing what's in the best interest of somebody else and not you.
But isn't that what Christ did for us? What he did wasn't
but
in
nah, I'm not
our
feeling
best,
that. I'm
our
not feeling
interest.
it. I'm not feeling it.
Okay. Well, I think it's a matter of perception. I think we hear that and we think that
love, I think love is compassion,
it is.
right? It is
That's an
compassion.
attribute of love.
Yeah, but what you said was not it.
Well, no, because you don't want to
Because
align with that.
I don't want to just do what's in the best interest of somebody else. I want to do what's in the best interest of me too.
How long have you been married?
Not important.
Well, I'm asking for a reason. I'm trying to make a point.
Like 4 months.
Okay, I've been married for 20 years. So I will tell you that once you get to 20 years, my definition
But
will
I'm
work for you.
at 10 though. Not married, but I'm at 10.
I'm at
now.
married 20. So when you get to 20 years, I will guarantee you that my definition of love will work for you.
So that means you only do what's in the best interest of your husband.
No, but I've learned the importance of being sacrificial, right? And we've learned balance, and we've learned to, when it's a different season in life, one of us has to fall back in order for the other one to fall forward. So it's a balance. I'm not saying you exempt self-love. I'm saying that
Okay.
love is sacrificial.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can feel that. I can feel
Yeah.
that. Okay.
See how I broke
For
that
sure.
down for you? It's
For sure.
different.
For
Yeah.
sure. I feel that.
So one more song,
Definitely
and then Amber is giving
certain
us the
sacrifices.
yeah. What do you say?
It's not gonna be what you trying to play.
You're so you know what's interesting?
Trying to be the party pooper.
That's not a party pooper song. That's a
is.
great song. And here's the thing.
I didn't say anything.
He did, well, I think that we're overly concerned with what people are going to think. And let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody thinks.
No, I'm just, I'm having fun.
Yeah. We can play whatever you want to play, but I think that
Go ahead, you
it's
can
an
play whatever you
inspiring
wanna play.
song.
How about you play whatever you play?
Let's see.
Go ahead.
Everybody said Revelation. Who's for Revelation? Okay, good.
You don't even know what Revelation is.
Here we go. Here we go. Why don't we trust God and just play Revelation?
Okay.
Go ahead, Cuddy. All right, guys. What'd you think? It was dope, right? Hard. All right.
Bars.
All right.
Yeah.
So listen, where can everybody tap in and connect with you, follow you, all that good stuff?
At Flawless RI on all social media platforms. FlawlessMusic.com. The Gratitude album is out now. Very excited about that.
Yeah.
Just celebrating that right now. Like I said, I'm in my gratitude era, being very grateful to God and all of my experiences and everything we've accomplished so far and everything we have yet to accomplish that we are coming up on.
Yeah.
And flawlessmusic.com. And stay tuned. We got another album dropping before the end of the year. It's going to be beautiful.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Big things for you in Jesus'
Thank
name.
you. Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, listen, enjoy the food, enjoy the ambiance. Thank you again
Cheer.
to Experience.
Love it.
Right? Thank you
Love
guys
it.
for the beautiful mocktails, cocktails, food, all the things.